Let me ask you something. When losing weight, how do you decide when to stop? Is it when you will start seeing six-pack? Maybe when you will get as lean as that fitness model on the magazine cover? Well, in this video, I explain what is the actual cost of being lean year-round, and it's probably not what you think. Six-pack abs, lean physique, and flawless health is what I and the rest of the fitness industry is trying to sell you. However, chances are you have no idea what it takes to stay lean year-round when you're a drug-free lifter. Finding your ideal body fat percentage is a long journey with lots of trials and errors, but I want to make it easier for you. In this video, I want to share exactly how I live my life to stay lean all the time, and as a follow-up to the previous video, explain what you have to give up and do more of in your own lifestyle to maintain different stages of leanness. This is a guide to help you decide how lean you want to be. For better clarity, I decided to break lifestyle into three main factors that will have the largest impact on your body composition, and they are food and eating, social environment, and physical activity. The first and the most important aspect of your life that will determine how lean you are is your day-to-day eating choices. More specifically, it is what you eat and how much of it. If you sort out your eating habits, then more than half of your work towards staying lean is already done. Now, when I'll talk about each lifestyle factor, I'm going to use this comparison chart to show you a summary of the costs of being at 12% versus 15% body fat. I would consider myself to be in the 12% category. So as I talk about my lifestyle, I suggest you use this chart to have a better understanding of the differences between these two different levels of leanness. Also, please keep in mind that these are my personal lifestyle choices that work for me, and I'm not saying that this is the only way to get to your goals. Okay, so it all starts with food choices. And I would say at least 90% of my meals are minimally processed foods, such as fruits and vegetables, fresh cuts of meat and fish, seafood, whole grains, milk, legumes, and nuts. This is very close to what other fitness experts describe as clean eating. In addition, even when eating mostly clean, I still try to favor low energy density foods so that I can be satiated with less overall calories. To explain what I mean, imagine eating 100 grams of fresh apple versus 100 grams of dried apple. Both are the same quantity of food, but the fresh apple has 5 times less calories. Not just that, when I eat vegetables and grains, in most cases I go for high fiber options. For example, instead of choosing something like lettuce and cucumber, I will go for broccoli or cabbage, which are higher in fiber and more satiating. In general, I make sure that 90% of my meals are high in protein, high in complex carbs, low to moderate in fat, and have vegetables in it so that it helps to regulate my appetite and cravings. And I would say remaining 10% is pleasure foods. Now, if you look at the 50% body fat column, you can see that basically there's just more freedom in every area that I just covered, making it a little bit easier to maintain. Also, like I said, there is more than one way to maintain a lean physique, and you could choose a calorie counting path where your food choices are not as important as long as it fits your macros. However, although it may work if you want to maintain a 15% look, but for a leaner look, based on my personal experience, you will end up being hungry and have cravings if you don't prioritize high satiety foods. Then the next step to consider is the amount of food that you eat, and this can go several ways. And one of them is determining the amount of food that you eat based on your daily caloric goals. The difference between the two levels of body fat is then simply the difference in number of calories that you eat. However, precise calorie counting takes a lot of effort, and it does not encourage you to listen for the internal cues that your body is sending, such as hunger and satiety. These are the reasons why I personally choose to use hunger and satiety scale to decide my portion sizes. I would say I eat most of my meals mindfully, and by that I mean I pay attention to how hungry I am before the meal and how full I am after it, using the hunger and fullness scale. And to maintain this level of body fat, I would start my meals at about 3 or 4 and finish at 7. To conclude this chapter, if you sort out what you eat and how much you eat, then you're literally more than halfway through your journey towards staying lean, as this is the most essential thing. But there are two more factors that are important, so let's keep going. The second aspect of your life that has a significant impact on your body composition is your social eating environment. In particular, if you want to stay at 12% body fat, then all of the social situations that involve food will be affected to some extent. Personally, I try to never get caught unprepared. If I'm planning to eat out and I want to go for a high fat and high calorie meal and a dessert, then I will make sure that I do extra physical activity before or after that day to compensate for excess calories. However, most of the time I would just be more sensible with the food choices when eating out so that I get away not having to do this extra physical activity. Social situations make it very easy to lose self-awareness. And to stay in this category of body fat, I'm pretty much switched on most of the time. And to be completely transparent with you, having six-pack abs year-round, in my opinion, requires a certain kind of personality. So me having this robot-like mentality where everything is planned and I don't let it be disturbed very often makes it easier for me to maintain this level of body fat. I don't need to put extra effort organizing what I'm going to eat because I don't eat out very often. I can just run my daily food plan on an autopilot without thinking too much about it. In the end, there's no right or wrong answer in this. You just gotta ask yourself, what are your priorities in life and what are you willing to do to serve them? To be honest, I'm truly passionate about fitness and lean physique, and I love the way that my life is. I like planning and organizing stuff, and I like knowing exactly what is going on in my life at all times. However, there is nothing wrong with being more spontaneous and enjoying variety in your life. If you are someone who likes eating out more often without a plan and enjoys food variety, then you should consider a more realistic body fat percentage for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. For example, you should be able to maintain a 15% body fat physique if you let your eating go a bit loose on the weekends and be more strict for the rest of the week. Okay, the final lifestyle factor that will dictate your level of leanness is physical activity. There are two types that are relevant to us, and they are strength and cardio training. Both have their unique benefits, and in my opinion, both are important for lean and muscular physique. More specifically, strength training helps to build muscle mass, which increases your metabolic rate. Increased resting metabolic rate means you burn more calories every day, helping you to stay leaner. Strength training also improves the way you look at a given body fat percentage. For instance, someone with low amount of muscle at 12% body fat will not look as impressive as someone with more muscle at 15% body fat. Talking about cardio, it makes it easier to stay lean with higher food intake because of increased calorie expenditure. Not just that, a study by Joseph Donnelly and colleagues showed that aerobic exercise on its own led to significant losses in body weight, which means that cardio may assist in maintaining a lean physique as well. And of course, by now, I think everyone knows about the health benefits of doing cardio, and the healthier you are, the easier it is to stay lean. If we direct the conversation to me again, when gyms are open, I do about 5 strength training sessions per week with lots of compound exercises. I walk for at least 60 kilometers per week. I do moderately challenging cycling for at least 100 kilometers in total per week. And on top of that, I have a physically active job. So this highly active lifestyle will definitely help me to stay at 12% body fat. So we can see the general trend here is that the leaner and more muscular looking you want to be, the more seriously you need to take your resistance training and aerobic exercise. Okay, to wrap up this video, I would just like to leave you with a couple of questions to think about to help you find out your ideal body fat percentage. Firstly, what are your priorities and values in life? More food freedom whilst still maintaining a relatively lean physique, or more rigid lifestyle with a ripped body? Next, what are you unwilling to give up? Maybe it's being able to eat out regularly without giving it a second thought. Or maybe it's extra time that you will have to put into exercising more and cooking your own food. Finally, what are you willing to do more of? Are you ready to start eating and exercise more often? Are you ready to completely transform your environment? Now you should be able to make a decision about the body that you really want while living the life that you really enjoy.